It's about time you stop putting other people on pedestals. Put yourself there. This is Center of the Sun podcast. Thank you for listening. I know you're tired of me, and I'm so sorry for the delay, but it's time to put yourself on a pedestal. When was the last time you thought of yourself highly? Well, out of the entire universe, you are the only person who understands your unique situation, your unique fears, your hopes, even your intentions. You know what I always say? If no one else is in the room but me dancing, then clearly I am the best dancer. I want to start off this show by apologizing for being so freaking being a procrastinator. But today I'm ready. I got my kombucha. I'm ready to go. Today we're talking about acupuncture. What have you heard about it? Well, season 4 is about we're still talking about neuroscience, but it's more so talking about bioelectricity and the electricity that is in your body. Hence the word bioelectricity. So I'm talking about something very specific in terms of bioelectricity because I want to encourage you to stop looking outside of yourself. And I want to encourage you just by just by learning simple information, I want to encourage you to recognize the power that exists inside of you. So you'll be better off and less dissatisfied if you celebrate your own uniqueness. So that's what today's show is about. It's about uniqueness, but specifically the uniqueness of bioelectricity inside of your body. And at least, if you put yourself out there in the world, at least if you fail, it's easier to forgive yourself. So that's why I'm like, just put yourself on a pedestal. I believe vanity is a survival mechanism. And, that's how other cultures, they see it as well. So that's how other cultures see it. And specifically when I say other cultures, I want to talk about China because there's a lot of information out there about China right now, and LeBron James just defended China, or they just defended their actions or whatever it is to speak poorly about China and the protests that are happening. But all I gotta say about this is that everybody knew what was happening before today. So the fact that people are mad in China, y'all should have been talking to the British like 50 years ago when they made the deal. So that's it. But all I'm seeing out here is we don't fuck with China like that, so I don't really know what to do. Also, I've heard nothing but like weird things about racism in that continent. So I'm not even going to touch on it. But basically, these people march to the beat of their own drum, which is great. And I wish we would do something, as Americans. I wish we would do something similar, but in my endeavor, for writing today's topic, I was researching artificial intelligence, and I've been obsessed with it ever since The Matrix came out, like when I was a kid. And I've always been super, super interested in how we get from like no robots to a robot world. And if you were to just watch TV, it's coming. The robot world is coming. The apocalypse is coming. We're making all these machines and they're going to like learn from us and like be better than us. And it's something in my gut is just like, I don't really know if that's true. And so as a result, naturally, instead of just believing something to be true, here at the Center of the Sun, we think hard. So much so that your show is late, but that's fine. But in the quest to understand today's topic around artificial intelligence, I actually went off on a tangent and I got into the topic of acupuncture. Acupuncture is a treatment and you use these little needles and you affect the body in a certain kind of way, and we don't do that over here in the West. So I'm just like, wait, what are you talking about? Acupuncture? Like, who the fuck cares? But there's this BBC documentary that was aired in 2014, and I'll link it to my blog at devon.org. Please visit devon.org, DVAUGHN.org. And I'll put a link to YouTube. There's a YouTube clip on it, or it's on YouTube entirely. And there's this topic of acupuncture, and it's an alternative medicine that's compared against Western medicine. And it focuses entirely on some other paradigm about the body. And people claim to have had major surgeries, like open heart surgery, completely awake, and not on anesthesia. And I'm like, I don't know how this works. Like, what is going on? Not on anesthesia. And it's pretty much unbelievable because they have footage. And this BBC documentary, which I'm inclined to believe, describes this team of highly trained doctors using a 2,000-year-old method for controlling pain before, during, and after surgery. And it blew my mind. A lot of people then and now have adopted methods like acupuncture in addition to Western medicine. And it's so odd because we have not studied it a lot, but I know in the clinic in which I work, integrative medicine is completely normal. And integrative medicine is just a focus on like medicine and then like meditation and like massages like after. And I didn't think anything about it, but we put our faith in all kinds of alternative medicines. Right now I'm drinking kombucha, which is not alternative, it's just food. But without guidance from my own research, oh my God, I'm so freaking smart. I've been like stumbling into these things that, wait, it's not weird or like supernatural or like new. It's just normal for humans to do these things. Has anyone ever proven that acupuncture works? Well, I do not believe so. And I want to like give you a little bit of caution because I'm like, that's just how it goes. Like, that's how the cookie crumbles. If we don't ever do clinical trials, we'll never have proof. If we never research it, how would you know the answer? Like, what? And that's the reason why I'm back today on Center of the Sun, because I'm still curious, even though I'm suffering from seasonal affective disorder. No, I'm just playing. But acupuncture does not work. And it's possible that acupuncture poses more risks than it does benefits, but in certain settings and in certain groups of people, it works. And that's why I'm like, well, hopefully science can help us figure this out, because I asked one of my nurses friends and they almost laughed at me. I'm just like, well, that's why I talk to you and not a medical professional. And that's why I try, like this weekend I was meditating, and it's so weird how meditation works. But the less I look outside of myself, the less inspiration that I need. Like literally, I have no idea what I'm going to talk about on the show, and I've been trying to freaking plan it. And it's just not as easy as I thought, because there's so much inspiration and there's so many thoughts going around. I want to pick the right one. But the more you look outside of yourself for inspiration, the more you'll realize that you're the least flawed out of everybody. Well, that's what I learned anyway. And moving forward, I am learning even more that life is more about a method of thinking than it is about acquiring information. And I'm trying to build up your understanding of these weird things about humanity that make us seemingly supernatural. Sometimes you don't need to dive all the way into granular understandings of a topic to necessarily understand it. So when I talk about acupuncture, I don't care about the actual science. I'm just trying to validate it based on my own experience. For instance, the topic of acupuncture sounds extremely nuanced, and difficult to understand, but just like social media makes it easier to find out who is the funniest or most traveled or has the most ripped abs. History can point you in the direction of the most long-lasting human behaviors. And that's how you can validate it, the information. Social proof, for instance. But more so social proof in longevity? I don't know. Acupuncture has been around for thousands of years. Some say it developed in China or Tibet, but who the fuck cares? Do you even know how it works? Do you even care? There's this really handsome, I think he's like Indian or something, so I think he understands the Eastern perspective when it comes to medicine, but he's a whole internal medicine doctor. This is linked to my blog as well, dvaughn.org. But he describes his use of acupuncture in his work. He uses these tiny needles to access energetic meridians, or in our terms, like just these balls of nerves throughout the body. So for instance, your brain is nothing more than a ball of nerves. Well, it's more than that, but acupuncture changes the way bioelectricity flows through your body. And when I say bioelectricity, I literally mean the charge that's in every cell. There's a few volts of something on the inside and the outside of every cell. And we know from last season that there are various examples throughout nature and in our own bodies that there is bioelectricity, and then there are forces that exist outside of electricity, outside of our ability to measure them. And this is mainly, this is proven in plants, where we can, because normally if you put two waves into sound waves, that's all we have is physics, is sound and light and stuff. But when you put two waves of vibrations together, they normally create one big ass wave. But for some reason, when it comes to organisms, it's just two waves. It's just two. It doesn't matter. It doesn't make one. It makes two. And there's like extra shit going on. And there's these unknown forces, and acupuncture basically accesses these 6 main meridians on the upper body and 6 meridians on the bottom of the body. So there's these meridians are like lines of nerves, or the channels or pathways really, and you don't treat a specific area, you treat the entire channel through which the energy flows. So this doctor understands the system of organs from a Western perspective, from a chemistry perspective, but then he also understands how the energy flows throughout the body from an Eastern medicine perspective or an acupuncture perspective. And the most obvious application of acupuncture is in pain reduction. Researchers at the University of Pennsylvania saw a 50% decrease in the amount of take-home painkiller prescriptions when they used acupuncture after robotic surgeries. So they used a very specific kind of surgery and then a very specific kind of pain protocol, and patients never felt even the need to ask them for more pain meds. And for people who are at risk for dependence, they gave them a special cocktail, made it really hard to get drugs, and never saw a increase in their dependence on opiates. And it's shit like that where it's like, wait, does it work? Well, I asked you earlier, does it work? It might. And in this case, I guess there seems to be some sort of benefit. I'm not sure. And when you mention alternative medicines to people, like medical professionals, they scoff. And it's hard for them to wrap their mind around it because all they know is chemistry. They only know how to tweak specific molecules. And that's okay when you have real stories of success. But you also want to use your mind, and you want to use your prior experience, and you want to make sure that what you've experienced matches up with what you are presently experiencing. And it's filled with all kinds of memories and random shit you learn throughout your life. That's your mind, is a collection. Your mind is a model of reality. your mind is all of the data that you've ever collected throughout your life from conception, literally, to now, and you're judging it against the present moment, and you're making a decision whether or not it's real. So your mind is the tool that helps you survive. That's also what people call your ego, and it's also the tool that can help you evolve as a supreme being. Don't you want to go with me? When I mentioned earlier about the purpose of this show, I want just to encourage you to stop thinking of yourself as a victim and more so as a supreme being. You're not just a regular ass human. Yeah, you are a regular human, but a regular human is also a supreme being compared to whatever the fuck is out there. I don't know. But our mind, it's our ability. Literally, you're doing like some quantum calculus in your head and you don't even realize it. That's what your mind is. So, does acupuncture work? If you think, you got to think about it. From my perspective, it seems like it is a valid medical treatment. I actually want to try it, but I don't really know where to go, because another thing that one of these doctors was talking about is that a lot of people practice acupuncture but don't know what the fuck they're doing, which is fine. I mean, it's just, I guess it's like Eastern medicine, so you don't really, it's all apprentice based, so you don't have, there's no license, there is nothing. And honestly, I'm excited for alternative medicine. This is not the first time that I've seen it. And there was another alternative medicine where they squeeze the fuck out of your legs and your butt, and it creates new arteries in your heart, because your heart is like literally working so hard to push something, and that extra little push on your legs fixes a lot of shit, and it's not invasive. You know, there are a lot of things. What's another one? Another one that we've talked about on the show is like intentionally consuming good bacteria. That's another alternative. I just went and bought some beet sauerkraut. I'm like, oh God, I don't know why I just bought that. But I'm like, we got to replace the good bacteria. We're creating disharmony with nature. How do you think the Egyptians found the fucking marble to fucking build the pyramids? They knew what the fuck they were doing with the meridians of the goddamn planet. They know the way energy flow. It's like as above, so below. It's crazy. That's how they think they found that marble, because they knew exactly where to look on the meridian of the planet. It's crazy. Why does acupuncture work? Because it's fucking meridian. It's so crazy how it comes together. There are lines of granite and like there are lines of stone throughout this planet. And how did they know where to go? They thought about it, or they use their mind. And that's what happens, is like, you know, when you just sit down and be fucking quiet, you can figure out so many things. Oh my God. And I'm just like sitting here like trying to do this show, and I'm just like, wow, my mind is blown. So let me share with you some human potential though. Okay. So, we have ancient wisdom, we have modern science. And so what's the human potential? Well, just go on like YouTube and be like, what's the future of the mind? I literally just do that all the time. I'm just like, what's the future of da 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 dot dot dot? And you have all these videos. I wish I did more lectures and had more content to share, because I'm like, I just consume all of these lectures and I'm like, what the fuck? But Mishu Kaku, I think that's his name. I just like his name. I just like saying it like that because I wish I had an accent. But Microsoft is out here being quite impressive. I don't know why I'm impressed, but basically Mishu Kaku, I guess, is either some sort of like new Stephen Hawking or like new Albert Einstein. I don't know why the fuck they keep calling on this man to talk, but he's very smart. That's why they keep calling him. And he is starting to bridge East with West in terms of physics. So Nikola Tesla, or East, he, where did he grow up? In Serbia, that's the East. And he figured out that reality is based on magnetism and dielectricity and various other things that we had no idea even existed prior to them inventing it, him and whoever else finding this out. And reality is based on electricity and dielectricity and magnetism. But on the West, everybody said, no, the Lord said, let there be light, though. And it was good. And that light was chemistry, and it was a particle, and it was relative, and nothing was faster than that light. Because God said, let there be light. And he went down to America and made them kings and gave them dominion over the earth. And no, sorry, I was preaching. Was that a good preacher voice? No, but that's what we believe. We believe some weird shit that doesn't even make sense. But our entire reality is built on Wi-Fi and electricity and magnetism. I'm just like, wait. So what happened to the particles of light? Like, why can't you open up a light bulb and pour the particles out? Or why in 2014 did they find something that's faster than light? I thought Albert Einstein said that. Oh, Albert Einstein is full of shit? Fuck him. No, not really. All scientists have... I take that back. I don't know. It feels like a conspiracy because I'm like, we knew what the answer was. Nikola Tesla and Albert Einstein were like basically peers, and we believe Albert Einstein over him. Even though Nikola Tesla was right, because we have an entire reality is built on Wi-Fi, which is the radio, which is radio waves. Who invented the radio? Nikola Tesla invented the radio. Who invented the light bulb? Nikola Tesla invented the light bulb. Like, it's literally on pbs.com or whatever.org. And fast forward to today, Microsoft is still a major player in the world in terms of technology, and they fucked up actually because they were such assholes. And now they're like, oh my God, we're open source now. Like, we just want everybody to like love us, and like, this is what we're doing. But it's okay because they've actually given me a lot of hope. And a lot of hope, not because they're a great company, but because they openly are like, we actually think that robots are too hard to do. And they're just going to skip them altogether. Like, they're going to have their AI, whatever it is. But in terms of like building autonomous robots that can like clean your house and like take over the world and like be this and be that, it's really not even worth it because our minds are so powerful. There is nothing that we can make more powerful than our own mind. So what are they going to do? What do you think they're going to do? They're going to just, they're going to use advanced computers to enhance human abilities. They already done it. They've done it with prosthetics. They've done it in space. They've done it with drones. And like, why the fuck would we create something from scratch when God gave us these Ferrari bodies? Like, we're a Ferrari. We are the shoes that look like socks. We're Balenciagas. And so how are they going to do all of this? Well, just like we were talking about earlier, there are ways to change the way that your energy flows, but Microsoft can record the energy flowing through your body with an MRI or some other kind of fancy ass scan, and it's the same electricity that is moving through the meridians in your energy, meridians in your body for acupuncture. Your brain obviously, it's like the brain data obviously like moves in patterns. So a computer can create a matrix of your brain's data when it has enough time to record it. So you have to lay like perfectly still in an MRI, but it can record the movement of your energy. They slow it, they capture like 20,000 frames a second or something ridiculously fast. But but they can decode the brain, and they already have. And people are doing it. Like, there was a patient that was trying to describe this acupuncture, the prosthetic to me. And they were like, yeah, they like move their muscle and it moves the prosthetic. No, I was like, no, honey. They don't move anything because they don't have a fucking hand. They think about it. They use their mind. They use the bioelectricity in their body that moves throughout their body from the brain, just flowing through the body. That same electricity is being affected by acupuncture. That same electricity can be decoded because it's a pattern. And that matrix of data is being used to create an image of your thoughts. So you can use, Microsoft is freaking me out. You can interface with a computer, and they can also read your thoughts. Now, it's very rudimentary, and I don't believe it's that rudimentary. I think they can fucking see it anyway. But it's good enough to print on a photograph. That's the potential. That's where the future is going. A person can fall asleep in the MRI machine, and they can record their dreams. Have you heard anything about this? That shit's scary to me, but it's very exciting. I actually am not scared by any of this stuff, because just like autonomous robots, we're like, oh, that's really hard. Like, ugh. Like, we're so lazy. Like, as a species, we're just lazy as fuck. And I think it's really fun. I just can't wait until I'm old enough to be like, damn, I need to like get this replacement, and they replace it with some cool ass computer, like, and I'm like over here like checking Facebook in my eyelids and shit. I don't know. It seems cool to me. I actually don't believe Facebook's probably going to exist because it's so intrusive, because computers are becoming more and more intrusive, and because we can interface with them. I don't even know what's coming. I don't want to know, because I didn't know Facebook would be like this when MySpace was created, or when I first signed up for it. I didn't even know Facebook would be like Facebook when I signed up for Facebook. I didn't know Facebook would be like Facebook when they started automatically tagging our faces. And now we're here. But, you know, it is what it is. Facebook today, they have reported that they're going to be more transparent as a result of the backlash, right, come 2020. But as a result of the backlash of Mark Zuckerberg's like cavalier motherfucking speech at Georgetown the other day, I'm just like, you people kill me. Not only are you going to do that, then you're going to freaking pledge like some minuscule amount of money for housing, bitch. Like, you know how much money you fucking make, and you're gonna just throw the homeless people pennies that you probably made homeless on purpose. So it is what it is. I'm not worried about it. There's so much human potential, there's so much ancient wisdom, and so much modern science that we don't even have to worry about anything. Did you even see, and this is why I'm like, NASA, you're pissing me off, because NASA today, so I accidentally paid for something that I didn't mean to pay for. This service, this like Google reading service that I didn't even pay for, but it was like $20. I was like, oh, but I tried to pay for it and it wouldn't let me pay. But then it charged me anyway. I'm like, you motherfuckers are backwards as fuck, but I'm gonna keep it. But anyway, I get this email with all these headlines in it, and I'm not gonna share it because I'm pretty sure they scam me, but it's a good site, whatever. And it was about NASA. I'm like, NASA? And it was about the ozone layer. I'm like, the ozone layer? What happened to the ozone layer and NASA? Like, what's going on? And you know what? The ozone layer has been shrinking, or not the ozone layer. Damn. The hole in the ozone layer. It moves all the time, but it's shrinking. And people in the military and stuff, they always have these little smirks and shit that be pissing me off, because I know the truth. I know the government know what the fuck's going on. It's over Antarctica. I'm like, why everybody in Antarctica trying to shrink the ozone layer hole? But, and when I say everybody's in Antarctica, I mean like literally all the major governments are in Antarctica. Why? I don't want to know. But the ozone layer is shrinking. But it's not just shrinking. It's shrinking because there's increased temperature in the stratosphere. And I'm like, wait. Global warming is causing the ozone hole to close or whatever, not close, but they were like very cautious, like, don't forget to recycle, bitch. Like, this don't mean we're in the clear, bitch. Like, you need to be out here turning off the water, putting the glass in the glass container, putting the plastic in the plastic, and the paper in the paper. Like, don't be forgetting where you came from. This is your mother Earth. Like, take care of her because she only get one. And I forgot what I was talking about, but the ozone layer is closing and we're not going to die. So thank God for that. And when I say God, I mean you. And yeah, you're creating a model. Did I ever talk about that? I want to do a part 2 to that episode. Sorry, I'm just like ranting right now, but I want to do another episode about mental models. I'm really fascinated. I'm fascinated because when I meditate, let me tell you, I know I got some entities hanging on me right now, but it is what it is. I love them. My guides, I call them my guides, my spirit guides. I got them. I've been meditating and welcoming them in, and they have been calming me down. 'Cause I've been very angry. And when you ask for guidance, you'll get it. When you ask for discord, you'll get it. So I encourage you to think, look good, feel good. That's a good way to think. Also, your perception is your reality. That's another just word of wisdom that I learned as a child. Also, vanity is a survival mechanism. You'll never go wrong when you love yourself and you think you're the shit. You won't do things that hurt you, like drugs, even though, yes, you will. You're less likely to be a drug addict because you care about your face too much. And that's from experience. And what else is a word of wisdom? Oh, stop putting people on pedestals. So last week, Emo Black Thought or whoever was like canceled or whatever. And I'm like, well, I can't cancel anybody that I never regarded as a real person, because anybody that's anonymous on the internet, and that's why I'm not anonymous, even though I did not announce myself. My name is Devon, and yes, I did, because it's devon.org. DVAUGHN.org. And that's why I'm not anonymous, because along with Microsoft, Google has all these different lectures, and they basically tell you what they're going to do. So all of their plans are not secret, and Google basically has real humans looking at websites and making sure they're real people. So I'm like, let me make sure I'm a real person, because what's not going to happen? Mitt Romney. Who else was outed? Like fucking not Newt Gingrich. I was watching The View today. He was on The View. He was a guest host. I don't know why. I'm still confused. But who else? Rudy Giuliani. Why can't I say the man's name? Rudy Giuliani. His whoever is being. He had a secret Finsta and was posting Trump on his Finsta. And when I say Finsta, I just mean private. But still, I'm just like, I thought he didn't know him. I thought he didn't know nothing about Rudy Giuliani's clients. They, for real, like from this year, signed photographs, like crazy shit. And that's why you can't be anonymous on the internet, because even if you have a private Instagram, people are still going to be all on your shit. Send me your thoughts. What do you think? Hosts at centersun21.com. You are listening to Center of the Sun podcast. I'm your host, Devon, and I encourage you to visit my blog, devon.org, at DVAUGHN.org. Thank you for listening.